Hello everyone, good evening, welcome to the Nerd Herd Comic Book Club. My name is Scott, if you haven't guessed already, and I'm joined tonight, as always, by the boys in question. We've got Philip.
Hello.
And we've got Shane.
Ahoy, hoy.
Nice one. Nice to see you boys, hope you're doing alright. Tonight, we are reading and talking about Nightwing Volume 1, Better Than Batman. Written by... What?
No, it's not Better Than Batman. Sorry, Scott. Didn't mean to confuse you.
I knew it was coming.
Written by Tim Seeley and art by Javier Fernandez. Now that Phil has thrown me off entirely.
Sorry.
Let's say hi to everyone, and then I will tell you all the synopsis. So Triple G, evening, first one in. Connie, very surprised. Oh my god, I'm never here for the intro. Hi. Hello to yourself. Aren't you supposed to be on holiday or something? Or
yeah, like what country are you in this week?
Yeah. Martin's here. Evening all. Jack. Hey everyone. How you doing, Jack? Steer's here. Thank you for joining, buddy. And that is all for now. Okay, so yes, this book, Nightwing, was chosen last week by Tottenham Gaming in our Herd's Choice. If you've not done Herd's Choice before and you would like to do it, then do come over on our third pick of every month, every wave, and you can have a chance to get your choice in, and you'll even win some cool swag as well. And it's all free, so yeah. So let's talk about. There we go. So let's talk about what this book was about. Wish me luck, because I have no really idea how to explain this. Okay, so Nightwing kind of goes on this kind of adventure to become his own kind of hero. He doesn't really want to exactly follow Batman's code. He just kind of wants to go and do everything himself. He joins undercoverly the Parliament of Owls, tries to overthrow them, disband them. Is that the word? And eventually gets joined with the Raptor, who, first of all, we see is working for the Parliament of Owls, and then we kind of see him turn sides, and it turns out there's his ideals and Nightwing's ideals kind of align in order to disband the Parliament of Owls. How's that?
Nailed it.
Yes.
It was good, but I'm not going to lie, I'm quite perturbed about your name, Scott. I've just noticed it. Your name on screen. It says Scott Better Than Phil. That's also untrue, just like Nightwing is not better than Batman.
Well, no, so consider it this way, okay? So I'm Nightwing.
Oh,
because I've got a great bum. Right, so and then you're Phil, you're Batman, you're Phil, you're Batman. And you've taught me everything I know, man. About comics. And I don't agree with any of it, so I have to go and be my own man, and then I join Shane, who's the Raptor, right? and then here we are. Yes, right. Philip, kick us off, mate. You've clearly got some really good views on this book, so I want to hear them all.
Okay, so my first initial thoughts are, how can we possibly fill an hour on this show with such a boring, mundane book? Hence, why I'm purposely talking slower than I normally do to try and fill out the time. Stretch this time. Look,
Philip, if we could do it last week, we can do it this week.
Last week was far, far better than this. To be fair, I don't want to be unfair. The story and the comic book overall, I'll steal a word from Shane last week. It's serviceable. Like, if you were picking this up every week or every month, I think you'd be happy enough plodding along, picking this book up, getting piece by piece. But I was so disinterested in this book.
I agree with that. This is a plodder. This isn't, it's interesting enough to keep you going, yeah, I'll check the next one out. But it's not like, oh my God, I've got to read the next issue. This is amazing. Yeah. Shane, being awfully quiet.
I just, I'm torn because I quite like obviously I like Nightwing. I like the Bat family, but I'm so over the Court of Owls stuff. They've just been done to death, and it
Yeah,
it was too much.
I wanted to ask about this because I have very limited knowledge on all the Batman universe kind of thing. This is the Parliament of Owls. Is this what happened to the court?
It's the next generation. It's just the young kids now taking over from their parents.
2.0. Right.
Yeah.
You see, I'm not a huge in that kind of time frame and like New 52 and Rebirth. I wasn't fully and what's the word I'm looking for? Engrossed in DC comics at the time. So my kind of like of the Court of Owls was the Batman stuff. And I was quite glad to have that and stop. I didn't want anything else because it can be oversaturated. Now, if the Court of Owls have been used elsewhere in other books, and this is another part of it, I can see why like they don't even touch it anymore now because it's really this is a really poor incarnation of the Court of Owls. The Court of Owls was like I don't want to say groundbreaking, but it's got this new big bad that existed, and Bruce Wayne had no idea what it was before, and like it was just the big bad, and now it just feels like just any run of the mill kind of group of villains. It's just
anyone with money now can slap a mask on and be an owl. Yeah, they're not threatening anymore. They were threatening when they were a secret, when no one knew about them, not even Batman. That's when they were interesting. But now we all know, and every superhero and supervillain knows about them. They're not interesting anymore. They're just rich people with owl masks on, and it can get a bit tiresome.
Yeah. I think as well, one of the issues I have, I haven't. Like I'm on the current Nightwing book, for example. That's Tom Taylor. Tom Taylor's on that, and he's fantastic. But I find Nightwing a really boring character in general, and also very whingy, like really whingy and moany, and complains about Batman all the time. And here we have this guy who worked in the circus. Yes, his parents died, and it's sad, and you want to seek justice, blah blah blah. But Bruce Wayne gave you everything. Like a mansion, cars, money to fight crime, but he still like wants to like be better than Batman and Bruce Wayne. It's like, get yourself on, pal. Like it's just get over it.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
that's just my personal thing towards Nightwing. I just find him like he's no Daredevil. All of that.
I have barely read Nightwing. I mean, I think my first real thing with it was when we read Battle for the Cowl. That was my first proper like Nightwing experience, and then we're on to this. But I haven't heard anything bad about Tom Taylor's run, and it's on the list, guys. But it's just when do I get around to it? So Connie is confirmed. She's in England now, but she'll be in Belfast next week. So she's going to be in another country again next week. Cool. Just country hopping everywhere. Martin's really loving the fact that you change all your colour backgrounds every week, Phil. About time someone noticed.
Yeah, that's the first time it's been noticed. Yeah.
Connie is saying the title of this book is so accurate, though. Nightwing is better than Batman. Batman sucks. Con, you better have an apology ready. I don't know, Phil.
You better get to Belfast tonight.
That's really creepy.
Get out of England.
Yeah. So, and she's also in a similar area to me. She says she's only read one other comic with the Court of Owls stuff in it, so she's not really deep into the DC because Bruce Wayne makes her very angry. So her kind of exposure to the owls is probably not far off mine. Triple G, I love Nightwing, particularly the Chuck Dixon run, and was going to pick this up, but it's sounding like one to avoid so far. But we'll let you know.
This is the thing. I know I sound like a real a-hole describing this book. That's just me, my lack of interest in Nightwing, I suppose. Where I do genuinely think if you're a Nightwing fan, as I mentioned, like you would just happily pick this up and enjoy it. So if you do like Nightwing, you probably will like this. But it's nothing to shout home about.
No, but I think you do need to be a Nightwing fan to enjoy this book because it does rely so heavily on the Grayson New 52 series, and then the Nightwing New 52 series and Forever Evil. You have to know all the build up to him losing his secret identity. What happened. If you don't know what happened, You don't know that he was unmasked live on TV by the Crime Syndicate of America during Forever Evil, lost his secret identity, and then had to join Spiral as Agent 37. You don't know all this stuff. But this book is just like, oh, I'm Nightwing again. Hi.
But I guess is that why this is, Rebirth Volume 1, a good starting point for any new readers?
But it's not. I didn't feel like it was, because it relied too heavily on mentioning things. They constantly mentioned Agent 37. Constantly mentioned him working at Spiral, and him just coming back and being Robin again, being Nightwing again. And it didn't feel like a clean break. Like, they should have just ended it with Grayson and then starts back as Nightwing. He's just Nightwing again. Some time has passed. You don't need to mention any of that. That happened in a previous timeline, essentially. Rebirth was meant to be the new number ones of everything.
Yeah. Going back a little bit, Tottenham Gaming is here. Once again, congratulations for getting his choice. They overdo the Court of Owls stuff because Grayson has a connection with them. If you remember, his great-granddad was a Talon.
Yes.
Okay. Right.
But not only that, Talon got his own comic book, so we had an entire series during New 52 of a Talon trying to deal with the Court of Owls. So they did overdo it, unfortunately. What we got in Batman was great. The first 2 volumes.
Oh, yeah.
It finished it, didn't it? It was like a nice, tight 8 issues, completed the story. We never needed to hear from them again.
And here they are.
Soon, leave a few years.
Martin seems to agree with you as well, Shane. He says he did enjoy the story arc, but he feels like you need to have read New 52 runs to get the most out of this. So would you say, have I missed out on stuff by not reading previous stuff? How essential would you say it is to read previous stuff to be able to get the full extent and enjoyment out of this book?
It's quite important. The first issue of this book, he's taken a bomb out of Damien's brain because it was put there by the Court of Owls. So, you kind of need to understand. It's just like, by the way, you've got a bomb in your head. I'm just going to take it out for you.
Yeah. Boop.
So it's like you kind of contraption a bit obscure,
like a little bagpipe.
Yeah, just suck it out. It's like
Oh my god. All right, so it seems like this isn't really a good starting point, even though it is an issue 1 and can be seen as a starting point.
Did you guys read? Because obviously with this trade paperback, there was the Rebirth number 1 before hit Nightwing number 1. Did you see? I did read. I forgot all about it, and I read that first, and I was thinking, what is this crap? Like it was trying to explain all that stuff that Shane's mentioned about this. What is it called? Spiral, and all these other stuff, but it really condensed it in one issue. And I think it maybe put me in bad form for the rest of the story.
Oh, really?
Because
I just went straight onto this. Better Than Batman Part 1. I skipped that one, the one that you were talking about, and just cracked on. So maybe I would have benefited. I don't know.
It probably would have benefited because it gave you some information, but it wasn't it was enjoyable. That issue was not an enjoyable issue. It wasn't fun to read.
No.
Yeah. And Connie is kind of agreeing. She says it was hard to pick up a bit about why he wasn't Nightwing anymore, and then was again, but she was able to get over it pretty quickly when the drama started. Yeah, I'm exactly the same. I wasn't bothered. It was just kind of it's like a footnote kind of thing. I was like, okay, he wasn't Nightwing for a bit. Cool. I don't care. He is Nightwing now. Let's just see where the story goes. But I guess if I really wanted to get into Nightwing, I probably would have stopped there and gone, okay, I'll look into this and I'll see where to actually start. So yeah, but I think because I'm not that invested in him as a character, I was happy to just carry on and just have that little bit in the back of my mind saying, oh, he was, and it's a little bit of information good to know, I guess, and if I wanted to read more, I could, but I didn't want to.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Sonic says it was a bad move trying to squeeze 2 whole series into a one-shot.
Yeah, it was kind of meant to be like an annual, wasn't it? Like to sum up the year or sum up his storyline up to that point. And they could have done it with just like screenshots or, pages from Nightwing New 52, Grayson New 52, Forever Evil. Just show you the things that happened to bring you up to this point. Don't have him doing something completely random while he's just talking to himself in the head about what has happened.
Like this just reminds me of a comic that we read called The Cosmic Ghost Rider, which we all loved, which I picked. And they done it like that. They had 2 pages of like different slots of what's happened in the past. Like here's the new story, you know. And you might like that, you might not like that. But I just think maybe in this book, that's what kind of needed to happen. We didn't
Well,
need
they had that whole book to do it in. They had that whole Rebirth issue one shot to do it in. They could have just done pages from the previous issues, you know, with him talking over them. This is when I lost my identity. This is when I joined Spiral. You know, that's all they could have done.
But also
I wouldn't have minded a few flashbacks.
Yeah.
Like, that would have been fine.
One thing I did note, I know we'll talk into the story more, but the fact that, like, Nightwing, there was a lot of narration. Like, he really likes to talk. He really he loves himself so much. He talks a lot.
Loves an inner monologue.
I just like, shut up. Just get on with it. You're fighting crime. Stop reading excerpts from your diary. Just get on with it.
That's true.
And then last week we didn't have enough of that because Black Widow wasn't talking enough in her head. And this week he's talking too much. It's like, it's a fine line.
We can't win. I brought this up last week. We can't win.
What do you prefer? Too much or too little?
I think I prefer this because I'm so...
Oh, really?
I think I'm only saying that because I've been reading a lot of Joshua Williamson Flash lately, and there's a lot of narration in that. So I think I'm just kind of used to it, and I don't mind. Maybe it's just a DC thing. I don't know. Should we talk about the art for a bit? And then we'll get into our pages. Shane, did you like his bum in this one? I know you're a big fan.
No. I checked every panel, and there was no... I don't know what they just weren't doing it right. Just weren't doing it for me. This art style, unfortunately, for that. It's like he's got the best butt in the DC universe. This is canon, you know. All the girls mention it in the DCU. He has the best butt. You know, Batgirl can recognize him, like, because there's a Grayson comic where he's in disguise working for Spiral, and he walks past Barbara Gordon, and she recognizes him from his ass. He's got like he's got a different face, and he's like, and he walks past, and she's like, yep, she's like, that's Dick Grayson. What's he doing here? It's canon that he has the most recognizable butt in the DCU.
Well, the thing is, if he's like, what is he, a gymnast or something? What's his?
So he's the acrobat.
Acrobat. I mean, you're going to have good glutes to jump about. So yeah, it would make sense. He would have a good arse.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, what about the rest of the art?
I think it was fine. It was okay. It's a bit scratchy, but it was done well. Like the motion was great when he was like flipping and stuff. Because I like when they do that sort of like Sub-Zero's freeze decoy. You know, where you see the echoes of him jumping. So there's like 4 images of him jumping around the page. I like that. It was done well, especially when he jumped up the wall and Raptor just like kicked him in his spine. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah. There was some actually really cool like motion, really good. What am I trying to say? Really good motion-y looking pages, panels. I don't know. God help, it's late. I'm tired today. I mean, there were definitely a few standout pages in this. My favourite character design was when the Parliament of Owl person turned into this massive owl beast. That was really cool. Didn't expect that at all.
Came out of nowhere.
Exactly. And it's
like knock knock.
Yeah. It was definitely a shocker. I really enjoyed it. That character design. And all the rest, they were just, you know, they were just good. You know, Barbara Gordon looked great as Batgirl. Raptor, I've never seen him, but he looked cool. Really liked his mask and his gauntlet. Well,
Soyalak.
Okay.
Soyalak.
Yeah.
This is the thing with the art. Again, similar to the story and the overall kind of book, I suppose. It wasn't spectacular, but it wasn't bad either. There's nothing bad you can say about it, but there's also nothing you can go, "Wow, this is phenomenal and groundbreaking. Look at this art; it's phenomenal." It's just as you would expect for a run-of-the-mill monthly comic book.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get on some pages then. Phil, let's keep your train of thought then. Tell us how you think your page is run-of-the-mill monthly.
Well, it's just okay. Okay, this is maybe the one page I thought the art kind of took a turn to be a bit more grotesque. Obviously, So he entered this kind of, I don't know, it's like a fridge or something with these kind of heifers lying on the table. And of course, obviously, one of them has, I can't remember what this is about, to be honest. They're growing their own kind of,
Is it to do with the Cobra
yeah,
stuff?
is it Cobra? Yeah. And it's just, I thought it was gross enough, the face of the big woman just cutting out of this belly. And yeah, I just thought it was grotesque enough to warrant some extra attention as opposed to the rest of the book.
Yeah. I mean, like, I know she was, like, doing it for Cobra, but, like, how? Like, how did this happen? How, like, I don't understand. Is there more background stuff on Cobra?
I think, from what I understand, maybe we see more of the Cobra stuff later on in the whole Nightwing run.
Right.
But again, I'm not going to read on, so this is kind of stuff maybe you should have had beforehand. But in that page too, which I thought was really funny and also a bit crude, like the I don't, what do you describe her? The vessel of this thing they're growing says about making only beautiful children for Cobra. And I'm just like, yeah, sure.
Cool. All right, Shane, tell us about yours.
I picked this page because it's got one of my favourite characters on it, Nightwing, Midnighter.
What?
Midnighter.
This page.
Oh, this is from the Rebirth issue. It's from Rebirth issue 1. My bad.
That's okay.
That's Agent 37, isn't it?
Yes, it's when he's going back. This is when he gets the device to take the bomb out of Damien's brain. But I love the relationship between him and Midnighter. It is very fun, their interactions. Midnight is a great character. They've crossed over quite a few times in like the Midnighter book or Grayson. And Damien put it best when he said that they were, what did he call them? Flirtatious. And what did he say? That's so annoying. Because he said to him about his pen pal, Midnighter, and he calls them flirtatious but antagonistic. And I thought that was a great way to explain their relationship. Because Midnighter does flirt heavily with Grayson, because obviously it's Dick Grayson. But anytime I get to see Midnighter in a book, I'm super happy.
Nice. Okay.
And seeing him there kicking a big old beast in the face is awesome.
Yeah.
A unicorn? I think some sort of monstrous unicorn?
Like Yeti unicorn. Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you there. Okay. My page.
Cool.
This was when they were in the labyrinth. I thought this whole sequence was probably my favourite part of the book.
Mm-hmm.
Just Nightwing, Batgirl, and Raptor were just going through this labyrinth to get to a person. Oh my god! Help!
Norwegian guy, wasn't it?
Yeah. And yeah, it was just really cool just seeing each of these panels. They kind of, because of the way that they kind of laid onto the buildings and the bits of the labyrinth or whatever, they kind of look skewed and a bit 3D. So it was really cool to see, and it was just fun seeing each of them, how they dealt with each scenario they were in and which ones were kind of like falling for the traps and helping each other and things like that. And yeah, I thought it was a really fun visual thing, and I just wanted to carry on my maze theme from last week.
This is I was going to refer to the maze theme from last week, because compare the two books, like this is obviously a bit more. They put a bit more effort into that, where last week was just like a flat 2D image with a few panels around it, where this is more like you're saying the 3D effect.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, it was good.
But last week's maze made sense because she was breaking into the place. As great as the visuals are for that page, it makes no sense whatsoever, because this guy designed his house to be impenetrable because an assassin was going to come to kill him, as told by a fortune teller. Why do any of the rooms have answers to the riddles to get out of the rooms? Yeah. Why would you do that if you're trying to protect yourself and you don't want anyone to get to you? There should have been if I just skew this picture like this, the door will open. It's like, no, that's when the acid falls on you and you die, because I don't want to be murdered by an assassin.
Yeah, well, clearly he wasn't that bothered about what was it.
He's like, maybe they'll just be dumb assassins who won't be able to
Yeah.
figure out my rooms.
Just really lazy assassin.
But not even just that. Now that we think about it, actually, if you recall, like the Raptor and this guy had this plan all along. So the Raptor had been in there one time
He
before.
didn't have the plan. He came
ran
up with
ahead.
that on the fly.
But
He
the
came
other
up
guy
with
all the way through the story.
and the other guys agreed with it within a matter of seconds.
Because it would have been that or actual death. So he's like, fake my
Just
death.
go with
real
it or die.
Yeah. Which one would I choose?
Yeah. We did have two pages sent in this week. One from Connie.
Oh.
Probably one of the first pages there. She said, I think the way they draw Nightwing's transition panels are so cool. Like, obviously, he's an acrobat and he uses that to his advantage. But they definitely draw it so well how he moves throughout the comic, if that makes sense.
Even I think I've got a nicer butt than this.
Yeah, it's very flat, isn't it? It's like it just goes back to thigh. It's just like a straight line. It's like back thigh.
Thank you very much, Connie, for that. And we did also have this pick from Kev as well.
Nice.
He says he does apologise. He wasn't able to read the whole story, but when he saw this, he just thought he had to send it over because he absolutely loves the speed lines in the bottom panel there. Really enjoys it there.
It's cool.
The motion is done really well in the book.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Story time, boys. What do you think? Who wants to go first? Shane, you can go first, mate.
Like I say, I'm a bit bored of the Court of Owls stuff. But that aside, I really like the introduction of Raptor and him being kind of like trying to be a mentor to Nightwing. I mean, Nightwing's a fully grown man at this point. He doesn't need a mentor. He'd need a partner, if anything.
Yeah.
But I really liked that. I did think the writing, especially for Nightwing, I mean, Raptor's a brand new character, so the writing for him is what it is. You know, I have nothing to go by. But for Nightwing, I felt like he was goaded a little too easily every time Raptor would fight him. Raptor would be like, "Oh, who's Barbara? I got a girlfriend." And Nightwing would be like, "Oh,
Why,
don't say that." You know, and it was like, this isn't what Nightwing doesn't get distracted by someone smack talking him. You know, it's Nightwing, for God's sake. He's trained by the Batman.
Yeah.
I thought that was a little bit, but apart from that, I mean, his relationship with, or his interactions with Raptor were the best part. The bringing down of the Court of Owls, I couldn't care less. They were brought down by Batman. This new generation, who cares about them, really?
Yeah. And the thing is, too, like, he wants to be better than Batman, do things his own way, but yet he still goes to Batman for advice. And Bruce is telling him, this is your thing, kid. You do it yourself, type of thing. And not once throughout the story did I feel that Nightwing was in control. You know, I just felt like it could have went either way. Even I suppose if you think about it, he trusted Raptor, and it ends with Raptor obviously going back to his Cobra leader or whatever, and saying he has Nightwing's trust now or something along those lines. So like, it made Nightwing look a bit of a fool, I think, throughout the whole story.
There were parts where I thought Nightwing kind of felt like a side character in his own main story. Mm-hmm. It did feel like he was following Raptor a lot, and he was leading the story throughout. Just felt a bit.
And when was it explained that he has CIPA, like he can't feel pain? When was this? Like
at the end,
he mentioned, right at the end. Like you don't notice it, but if you go back, he doesn't grunt or say "ow" when Nightwing's like kicking him in the face or punching him in the back or anything. He doesn't make any noises. But there's just that one little hint when Nightwing puts his face through the TV screen, and he pulls out a piece of glass, and he's like, "Sometimes you don't notice you're bleeding out until you see the blood." He's like, "Did I get it all?" It's like, but he doesn't mention that he has this condition until like the end of the book.
There was another instance, wasn't there, where there was a scalpel in his back from the Cobra belly lady. He doesn't.
Nightwing doesn't even ask him.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something Nightwing would say when he's fighting him. He'd be like, "Dude, do you not feel pain?" He's like, "I'm hitting you with everything I've got," and he'd be like, "Oh yeah, by the way, no, I don't."
Maybe Tim Seeley as a writer was saving that part when, at the end, we were kind of getting that reveal that Raptor was also like a circus folk. So maybe he was just kind of saving that, just one big bundle. Here's all of the background reveal for, like, you know, he has something in common with Nightwing, and then he was the numb man, you know, and so maybe it was because of that. That's what he was called, right? The numb man.
No, it's so bad.
The dumb man. This is another thing I had a problem with as well. The fact that they both worked in the circus. Like, there's not that many superheroes in the world, let alone superheroes who once used to work in the circus. And here are two of them combined together at the same place, same time. It's a bit daft.
Oh, okay.
Was anyone else worried that he was gonna turn out to be his dad?
I did think that at the end.
He did mention his mum,
that he
didn't he?
knows his mum, yeah, and I'm like, oh my god, it's Nightwing's dad. They're going to completely retcon Nightwing, and now he's got a live dad.
Yeah. Let's say a quick hi. Perpetual Comics is here. Evening, everyone. Hello. And we have the comic vet as well. Hello, fam. Hello to you. Hope you're doing well. We've had quite a few comments. Okay, so Connie has said, I feel like Raptor's story was a little bit random.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I mean, again, I've never seen this character before. How big of a character has he been in the DC universe before?
This is his first appearance.
This is his first appearance. Okay, cool. And then, yeah, I agree then. Bit random.
It's just that he didn't do... the story didn't do very good at kind of, like, say, explaining him more. Like, you know, you thought he was a bad guy at first, then he's his buddy, and then he's just this thing with his hand, his gauntlet. What was it called, Shane? Sorry, the weird...
Soyalak.
So, whatever. It doesn't do a very good thing to explain what he is or what he does, or it's hard to connect with a new character whenever this is your introduction. It's just...
The glove made it seem like it was magic, like it could do whatever he wanted it to do. Yeah. And then he says like it has like a pint of his blood in it for if he needs blood. Half a pint of blood, sorry, my bad. So then when Nightwing takes the glove off him, the blood is actually inside in a little pouch inside. So is the glove magic? Like he talks to it like, oh, what the glove knows what you need, and it's like, or does he just like pre-program it like Batman's utility belt and hope that he's got something for every occasion?
I think maybe it was just he was just making it up, wasn't he? Because he used the shark repellent twice, the shark attractant twice. Sorry,
attractant.
Yeah, jeez. Was that an Easter egg for like the Adam West stuff? Was like the shark repellent.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Yeah. And then you've got the blood there. Like he only really used it like 3 or 4 times, isn't it? And he's like, "Oh, this is used for whatever I need." And it's like, "You've used it like 4 times, mate." Like,
calm down, bruv. Calm down.
But yeah.
Another way to think about this as well is that I've never heard of Raptor before until this, and Triple G Comics, for example, in the chat, he collects a lot of CGC books, and not once have I seen him or anyone else showcase the first appearance of Raptor 9.8. I've never seen it. I don't think anyone cares.
Nobody in a TV show or a film yet.
But even then, I don't think it's. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Who knows?
I mean, well, CW, their schedules are cleared now, aren't they? So they need some new DC characters.
No. Bring him over to Titans. We'll have him on season 4 of Titans. I'd be happy to see more of Raptor. I quite enjoyed his character.
Chris is here. Hey, Chris. He's saying hero rule number 1: don't overuse magic gloves. Standard. Come on, guys. Yeah. We are slightly dissing this story, but I did enjoy something from every issue. Like I can't say I was like entirely bored, but I wasn't bored. It was like, you know, like Phil said earlier, just plodding along, just going with it. But there was something in every issue I enjoyed. Like issue 1, it was the very beginning when he's at the circus, and then like, you know, defeating the little Cobra assassin at the start, and then, you know, getting introduced to the whole Parliament of Owls. Like I know I haven't had much I'm forgetting my words, much exposure, that's the one, to the Court of Owls, but so I wasn't too bothered, and I was quite pleased to see some more owliness going on. Issue 3, loved the Labyrinth. That was issue 3, right? And then issue 4, the whole fight with the massive owl monster, and then finding the center of the labyrinth. I thought that was a really cool, like really good looking page as well. So I can't say that this was a bad book.
Yeah. I agree. It's not bad. It's not something that we're going to diss and hate upon. Like it's not Snot Girl or Mind Management or anything like that.
Wait,
yeah, we're all agreement here.
Snot Girl was great. Okay.
Okay, sure. But the thing is, too, like some of the humor fell flat. Some of the humor was good too, because when he was introduced to the Parliament of Owls, he then went on to this kind of like I should have written them down. I forgot. I don't know if Shane has them. So he had different types of birds and grouped them together, like gaggle of geese.
Oh yeah.
He had different...
Did you write those down?
I didn't write those down, unfortunately.
I did write them down because I assumed you would, Shane. That's the kind of thing you would write down. But yeah, I find those things, they were funny, but overall the humor just fell flat a bit. And I don't know if it's because I was confused with the book. Like, it's hard to tell what it wants to be. Like, you've got obviously the spy story. You've got this buddy cop thing going on, like the partners. You've got love interest with Barbara and Batgirl, and you've got a little bit of horror elements in there too. Like that wee woman, what was her name? The wee old woman who
Dr. Leviticus.
Who was collecting these gold coins. So there's a bit of horror in there, amongst other things. I found it difficult to see what the book was trying to be, but it wasn't bad. It was just slightly confusing.
I think the only joke that landed was when Raptor meets Nightwing for the first time, and he's like, "Oh, is this where we do the thing where we fight and then we team up like superheroes do?" I was like, "Oh my god, they do that, don't they?" Like, there's been a trope for so long. It's like even when Batgirl shows up and he's like, "No fighting and then teaming up. Let's just get straight to the teaming up." Like, I did enjoy that, but yeah, there's no like laugh out loud moments in this book. Unfortunately, there's no lightheartedness to it, which I mean, there probably shouldn't be for this kind of story. I mean, it's about human trafficking and murder, so it's not really a.
This is another thing I didn't understand. I understand Nightwing and Raptor trying to bring down the Parliament of Owls, but I never understood what the Parliament of Owls are trying to do. Like with these new like people trafficking, like what were they intending to do with these people? I never really understood.
They were
building their new civilization. They were building their new civilization under Greece, and then once they'd done their job, they were going to sacrifice them.
Underneath Greece, like
no, it was like a different island off Crete, wasn't it? Or was it like?
See, I'm pretty certain like governments and FBI's and presidents and prime ministers, they're going to see this happening. You know what I'm trying to say? This random island beside Greece. You're not going to get
buildings over there now. They weren't there yesterday.
So it all seems a bit too far fetched in that aspect. But I didn't focus on what the Court of or the Parliament of Owls were trying to do. I just knew that Nightwing wanted to bring them down, and that was fine for me. But
they're just trying to get too big for their boots. Like the ones in Gotham, like their plan was just to control everything from the shadows. Makes perfect sense. No one knows who you are. No one knows you're doing it. You're whispering in everyone's ear. You're not destroying cities. You're not building on islands off the coast of Gotham. You're just controlling what's already there. Fantastic. What a scary thought. But these lot, they're just like, yeah, let's just build an island and take hundreds of people and make them work for us, and it's just a bit too big for their boots.
Yeah, they were in the open. Like at some point, they met the main person of the Parliament, and it looked like they were in the jungle with the statues of owls and so on. Like again, same thing. I'm pretty certain every part of the earth is pretty much known to everybody. So if you have this big owl, exactly, like you're going to see it. So surely, like the Court of Owls is, like you say, what was it in the Batman story? They had a floor in between floor 13 or something where they all kind of lived or whatever else. Like they were able to hide people within floors and tall buildings and stuff. And again, just to be out in the open all of a sudden, that's a bit.
It felt a lot smarter. The writing was a lot smarter in Batman when they handled the court, I think.
Yeah. Which then would lead me to ask the question: is Nightwing better than Batman?
No. I think Connie will beg to differ on it, but I think,
But that doesn't refer to Nightwing being better than Batman. That means Talon. It's Talon who thinks he's better than Batman because he thinks he's going to be a better mentor to Nightwing. Raptor, sorry. Who did I say?
Talon.
Talon. I've got talons on the brain.
Is it called Raptor better than Batman? Yeah. There was one there's literally one line in this book which made my mythological geeky side happy. And it was when they were in the labyrinth, and there was just one line, and it was like when they were getting out of the labyrinth, and Nightwing said something like, and we didn't even need a rope. Sorry, Thaddeus. And that's totally linked to the whole Minotaur in the labyrinth story.
Yes.
Hoping you're aware of it.
So you have some background reading for this book for that one line.
Well, yeah. Well, no, it was just a cool little nod, and it like if you don't care about Greek mythology, it doesn't really matter. But some of you might be going, "Who's Thaddeus?" But then, if you do know, you know, and it's a little like cool. That was a good joke.
I actually expected more kind of Greek mythology in terms of like they were building this supposed city in Greece. You know, you would have had more Greek mythology, or at least more references to stuff like that. Like you're right, I had that one line. I maybe expected more of that throughout.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to bring up more Greek mythology based around labyrinths when that was pretty much the whole focus of them being in Crete. But I know what you mean.
No, they mention the ferryman as well, don't they? Because that's where Dr. Leviticus is digging up the coins for the ferryman, which they use as the ferryman, the like the Grim Reaper of the River Styx. But all the information is on little coins. They look like little records, and you sort of get all the information off of those. Which is what Raptor uses. He gets her to put a backdoor in the book so that every time a name's revealed, Cobra gets the name as well, so they can go kill him. Which was a great little twist. Right?
I was like, how could you put a backdoor in a book? Like, this is a magic book.
I think I wasn't clear whether it was magic or technology-wise, but then she does say like she's beaten death, so she's like immortal, so she must be magic. She had like a dead sidekick as well, didn't she, when we saw her?
Yes. You know what? This has only just now clicked for me, that whole scene at the very beginning. I completely forgot about that. And now it's now just clicked in my head. That was her digging the grave. The box she got was full of the coins. There was those coins in the 4th issue. Oh my god. I don't think I should be here anymore, boys. You know, like, we're looking for a 3rd.
This was only a 4-issue story as well, Scott.
Yeah, I know. Another tip from Chris. Hero rule number 2. Don't overuse Greek mythological references in a humorous manner. Standard.
Oh, jeez. Don't read New 52 Wonder Woman then, because that is full of it.
God, that'd be a dream for me.
This is the thing also. Kind of what you're saying, Scott. For being 4 issues, for you not able to make that connection, for me it shows us how like we're not really... Like, the book didn't bring us into it in terms of like it never got our attention fully. Not because we're not into it. It's just like it didn't do its job at getting us gripped into the story overall. Because if you were into this, you love your Greek mythology and stuff too, and all sorts of mythology. If you were hooked on this, I know you wouldn't have missed that. I just don't know. I think we're in the same kind of place where we're not overly hooked in this book. It never grabbed any of the 3 of us, I don't think.
Right, yeah. Was she called Dr. Leviticus at the start? Like, was that name brought up?
I think she calls herself it in the graveyard.
All right, I was trying to save myself then, but that's fine. Just threw myself under the bus even more.
You did. Shouldn't have mentioned that.
God, stupid Shane. Is there anything else?
When she's like, oh yeah, you'll put me in witness protection if I help you with the book and the coins, and they're like, yeah, we'll send you anywhere you want. She's like, somewhere warm with a nice view, and then she leans into Nightwing and she's like, would you like to come with me, young man? Yeah. It's like, you horny old lady. She's like 200.
Speaking of relationships, can we? Although there wasn't a lot really, can we talk about Nightwing and Babs? Can we talk about them? I think the whole like I thought it was a date thing. I thought that was quite
Cutesy.
cute slash funny. Yeah. First of all, he does it when they meet on the roof. And she's like, no, they meet on the bridge, don't they?
Yeah.
On the top of the bridge. And she's like, this isn't a date place. We're on top of a bridge. And he's like, oh, so it's not a date then. And then she does the same then, but in Tokyo, and it's got the whole picnic laid out. And I thought it was quite sweet, but I thought it sucked that he stood her up.
Yeah. Although I did enjoy her knocking Raptor on his ass in a single move.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. She's just like, no, bruv.
She's cool. So. And Batgirl, again, is a character I've not really read much of.
Same, but I think Batgirl, even in this story, even though she was only in it for, I don't know, 31% of the book, I think she stole the show ahead of Nightwing, and I would have preferred to see more Barbara Batgirl in this than Nightwing, which is weird because it's Nightwing's own book, but sure.
Yeah. I'm done.
You're done.
Nothing else to say, boys.
Yeah, we're.
Can't think. I'm flicking through the book here now, and I'm just like, yep. Talk about that.
We told you we should have spoke slower. If we spoke slower, we would have stretched out the entire hour.
Yeah. Chris is saying, in all fairness, Shane, if you were a 200-year-old lady, you would still come on to Nightwing. You've got to take your chances when it comes.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
If you don't ask, you don't get, do you?
Nah. Yes. I mean, is it too early to go on to our thoughts and scores?
Not if we're at that time.
We are at that. I think so. But, is Raptor his dad?
No.
No? Okay, fair enough. Well, then why did he bring up the whole mum thing?
You find that out later.
Is he just toying with him, just in his way to kind of get in his head, maybe? Is that what
Do you want to know? I can tell you if you want to know.
We've got 12 minutes to eat up here. Tell us everything you know about Raptor.
Raptor knows his mum. They grew up together. And they both worked at Haley's Circus together. I know, this is why, constantly in my head, I'm like, oh my God, please don't be his dad. Please don't be his dad. But no, she's talking to John, and she's kind of skeeved about him. He's always there. He's sort of always following her. He's a bit obsessed with her because I think he's in love with her, but she was obviously in love with John. So nothing ever happened between them. And then when she died, when her and John died, he then took his obsession from her to Dick. So he's sort of been watching Dick the rest of his life. So he's sort of kind of not watching over him, but just sort of keeping an eye on him.
Mm-hmm.
Are you laughing too at the obsession with Dick?
Children. I work with children.
See, I've only need some time here. I'll go into this. I do have a problem with Nightwing, and he is slightly boring, but everything that we've read so far, and to be fair, the Battle for the Cowl was slightly different. But it just seems he's always living in the shadow of Batman. He can't seem to escape it in any way. Even this storyline, better than Batman, and Batman's not really in it, apart from a few little bits at the start and one at the end. I just feel like if they really want Nightwing to be better than Batman, just do something different than always kind of hanging on to Batman and always trying to do better and always looking to impress Batman in a way. You know what I'm trying to say? He just can't seem to shake Bruce Wayne Batman. And I think that's a problem with the character.
But he does it to himself. Even in this book, when he goes to Bruce for advice, Jason doesn't constantly go to Bruce for help. Jason takes care of his own business. Tim doesn't constantly go to Batman for stuff. Tim goes to other people, or he just deals with it himself. They don't, they have all been Robin. They have all been trained by him. They've trained differently because they've obviously got different personalities, but they don't cling to Batman as much as Dick Grayson does. And it's really weird. I mean, obviously he's known him the longest, so maybe he feels more like his father, so he feels like he constantly needs his approval. And then even when he pretends he doesn't want his approval and he doesn't want anything to do with him, he secretly does. He wants Batman always there, always watching his back. I mean, for a split second, all right, for two issues, I thought maybe Raptor was Bruce Wayne undercover helping Dick out. I did. I thought maybe he was along for the ride just to keep an eye on him, but
Imagine
Dick
that.
Grayson does it to himself. He needs to just grow the hell up.
Yeah, I agree, and that's one of my biggest issues with being able to connect with Nightwing, because I just feel like he needs to shake that off and do his own thing. And
Yeah. If
don't
you read
like,
Titans and Teen Titans, in that he's great because Batman is like over here and him and his team are here and they never ask for Batman's help. You know, like those are the really good Nightwing stories. But it's when he's in a team.
yeah, but he's the leader of that team, isn't he? He's like the main.
He is, but it's a group book, so he doesn't get as much time as he does in his, which is obviously a good thing because when he's in his own book, it's not as enjoyable.
The thing is with this book as well, like as I mentioned before, like I currently collecting the single issues from the Tom Taylor run, and I've enjoyed it thus far. But again, having read this, I'm now considering dropping that from my pull list based on this book, because I just find Nightwing quite boring. Even though in the new series he's not, he is fairly different. He's in Bloodhaven or whatever it's called, and he's doing his own thing. But I just find me reading this now, he's made me realize, like, why am I reading Nightwing? Why?
Because Tom Taylor wrote it.
That's why I'm on him. I need to remember that.
I do have a few of the covers. Not going to lie, those covers are
Sexy ones.
Of course, what other ones are there? It's Nightwing. What other cover is there? The one where he's laying on the couch with the puppy on his chest is my favourite.
Yeah, they are cool. Nice. I mean, I can appreciate them. That has been nice topless Dick Grayson covers. They're good.
Yeah,
nice. Let's talk about our scores then, shall we?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Okay. Phil, take your time, no rush. What did you think of the book? And everyone else in the chat, if you've read it, you all know the score by now. Please get your scores in and add it to ours.
Okay, so there's not really a lot more I can say about it. It's not a bad book. It's not a good book. It's not memorable. I read it today and I forget a lot of the stuff to talk about. I feel like Tim Seeley is a relatively well-known name. Like he was the writer for Battle for the Cowl, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And I would assume that he would deliver something more than this, based on, because like, I know his name in the comic book world. I don't think he's delivered. I think the story's a bit, again, it doesn't really know what it's trying to be or what it's trying to do. It didn't grip me as a reader. He wasn't that fussed on Raptor. It was a strange character to introduce, even though it started to come about towards the end, and he has this like kind of darker intentions, which I liked. But again, I liked the buddy cop stuff. I liked the Babs and Dick Grayson stuff. Just pick one and just go with that. Just try and be something of those. Didn't love it. Didn't hate it. Didn't have a great time. Didn't have a bad time. Complete run-of-the-mill, bog standard book. I can't give it more or less than a 5 because I've nothing else to. It's a 5. Just medium. That's it.
Fair enough.
Sorry, Tim.
A 5. Okay, here we go. Shane, over to you.
The most enjoyable part of it for me was Raptor. I enjoyed him, the silliness of him, like talking about his brand and wanting to, become something a bit more than he is, like working his way up. I thought, for a new character, introductions like that, he's a mercenary, works for money, does what he needs to do. Fair enough. Find him in. That's an introduction to a character for me. I didn't need to know his name or his backstory or anything straight away. I really like the design of him. Like the sort of Iron Fist sort of mask, but it's got straps around the back, so it's more like a plastic shield over his head. The design reminds me actually of a character from the Dixon run of Nightwing called Nightwing. The character is Nite Wing.
Right.
He's like just a street level guy with a baseball bat. Oh no, he might have been called Batwing. No, it was Nightwing, pretty sure. But I like the design for him because I like the bird on the chest. Because again, he looks like he would fit well with the Bat family. Like that sort of design is very Red Hood-esque. I liked him. It's the Court of Owls stuff or the Parliament of Owls stuff that I wasn't a massive fan of. But whenever they were just on a mission, the action was fine. The art was fine. The art is good when there's motion and fight scenes. It's just detail-wise, it's a bit iffy for me. But overall, I didn't hate the book, and I wasn't bored. I was never bored. I'm not going to say it's a boring read. It's 4 issues. You're not going to get bored reading 4 issues. I mean, I might have if I was reading it monthly, but I read it all in one go, so I wasn't bored. But this isn't really a jumping on point, and that's what kind of disappointed me, because it's Rebirth. It's meant to be the start of something, and I feel like the writer, he's written Nightwing before because he's written Bat books and he knows the character, but this felt like he was trying to clean up New 52 so that he can start again. Like, they didn't give him a blank chalkboard. They gave him a chalkboard with like half of this word and half of that word, and he had to fill in the blanks. And I don't think that's fair to just dump a new writer with that. But yeah, it was okay. Like Phil says, it's very middling. It's not great, but it's not terrible either, so you're not going to score it low. But I'm going to give it an extra point for Raptor because I did enjoy him, and I am going to seek him out, and I'm going to follow him to see what else he's been in. So I'm going to give this a 6.
Nice. Great. Just 2 scores in so far. So we've Tottenham Gaming, the person who's picked this book, he sent his score in earlier. He gave that an 8 out of 10. And Connie has given her score as well. She's going to give it a 7.5 because Dick is her favourite DC character. Simple as that.
But that's only because she hates Batman.
She's only read 8 DC books. More DC.
Read Jason Todd. He'll be your favourite character.
You heard it, yeah. Okay, yeah. So, guys, you've got a couple more minutes if you want to get your scores in as well. But I'll move over to mine. Sorry, Shane. I'm exactly the same as you. Raptor was my favourite part. I honestly thought he was really cool. By the way he was introduced, I thought he had more of a history in DC, and it just felt like Nightwing was more of a side character whenever Raptor was on the screen. It just felt like that he was taking the lead. I don't know if that was trying to drum up some fandom for Raptor as he was brand new, but I think it definitely worked on me and you because we thought he was one of the best characters there. This was a nice book to read. Definitely wasn't boring, but yeah, it definitely also didn't blow us away. Didn't blow me away, and I like the Theseus part. Nice little nod. I know it was only one line, but I was like, "Yay, cool, Greek mythology, woohoo!" And
3 points.
Yeah, woohoo! Yeah, it's a 10 out of 10 for me. And the only downfall I have is, after speaking to you guys about it, is the fact that there was too many things for new readers to not understand. Like, if they hadn't read the one shot, then they're just not gonna get what's going on. They're not gonna get the references to Spiral and the whole Damien with his with the bomb in his brain and all this kind of stuff. So, and the secret identity and getting it back, and yeah. So it was a bit, you just go in, ooh, should I know something? Did I miss something in a few pages before? It was that kind of feeling in it. So I didn't think it was as middling as Phil, and my score is reflecting the exact same as Shane's. I'm going for a 6.
Cool.
So there we go. No more scores in, just a quiet one for you guys tonight. So with the 8 and the 7.5, we have a combined score of 7.75, or 7.8. We'll round it up to that, which if you add that to Phil's 5 and Shane and mine's 6, that gives us the grand total of 6.2.
Another easy night for you, Scott, I think.
Another easy night for me. Okay, let's go ahead and see. Does it come on the top 10? No, it doesn't. 8 is our lowest score for the top 10. So let's see where it comes on the rest of the leaderboard. Oh, it's our first 6.2. So it'll be coming in at 19th place.
The filling of a Klaus sandwich.
Well, no, wouldn't it be a Nightwing sandwich?
Oh yeah, Klaus would be the bread. Yeah.
Yeah.
2 really sexy characters as well. Grayson
Yeah. Yeah, but yes, thank you very much for everyone who has joined in and has watched along and given us their thoughts. But I think we should go ahead and tell you now what we've got coming up next week.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Let's go. Shane, tell us what we got.
We've got Kill or Be Killed, Volume 1 from Image Comics, I want to say.
Yeah. Is it Ed
Yes.
Brubaker?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
Nailed
been on
it.
my list for ages, and I deliberately haven't read it because I want to read it for that.
Nice. And if Chris from Off My Shelves is still here, he will be immensely pleased. That
10 out of 10.
Yeah, 100% 10 out of 10 from him, definitely. But yes, thank you very much again from everyone. Looking forward to seeing you next week for Kill or Be Killed. And we've only got the last thing to do, as always, is to gay waves up. Bye everyone.
See you.
Have a good one. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye everyone.
Love you.